All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in. This is Nancy Rebecca with Intuitive Mind. I am live on Facebook as well as YouTube, so look forward to you popping on and letting me know where you are tuning in from and what are you enjoying today. I'm having my coffee, but you may be a tea drinker or water, but love to have you tune in. So, good morning, Donna from Florida. We're starting to get some warm weather here in Tacoma. You may have heard me kind of whining a bit about it for the past few calls, but we might even on this Sunday get up to 90 degrees, which is again unusual for Tacoma, but we will take it. Hello from BC, Canada. Hi from Flagstaff, Arizona. Good morning from Victoria. So yeah, go ahead and tune in. We've got about 16 of you on, but I'm going to go ahead and start talking because as usual, I have a lot of material for a short period of time. Kind of always call this like the sampler platter, and then you can take this information and do some more exploring on in the search engine to see if you can find some more information for yourself. So, good morning, Maria from UP, just finishing yoga. What a great morning. Hi, Elaine from Spokane. So, we've been this month talking about ascension symptoms, going a little bit deeper because really ascension symptoms can impact us in many felt ways throughout the body. So, last week I talked about cortisol and the adrenal glands, taught you how to do a healing on your own adrenals. So, would love to know how you, if any of you have worked with that technique this week and done some more healing around your adrenal glands. So, adrenals are the ones that get triggered when there's that fight, flight, or freeze type response. It sends a signal to the adrenal glands that then really kick up, start flooding the system with cortisol to give you enough energy to be able to, like it said, run, fight, flight, freeze. And the stress levels go up in the body, and then that impacts everything else as well. So today we're talking very similarly, but using the ascension symptom of heart palpitations. So loads of people were having a lot of heart palpitations earlier in this year of 2022. So I'm going to talk a little bit about maybe what was that about, because when it happens that much, people do really wonder, your doctors really wonder, what's in the water? What's everybody drinking? So your awakening heart has an enormous magnetic system. In fact, when they've done studies, they have found that the heart has almost a larger aspect of the aura than other chakras in the body. All of your chakras are very sensitive. All of your chakras are very intuitive. All of your chakras will gather information about what's going on in your outer world. It will communicate that to your chakras, your energy centers, and intuitively you will receive information if you're sensitive enough to receive information. And then your chakras communicate out to the world. So there's this constant movement through the aura, and then this movement back out to the larger energies of the world. And that's why I teach intuitive psychic development and how to become much more precise in what you understand is going on in the world. But even though I have 25 years of experience of being really sensitive, does not mean that I always can pick up with accuracy what's going on. Like my system was telling me that something was wrong before I was diagnosed with breast cancer. My system kept kind of raising the alarm over and over again, but I couldn't hear or kind of get exactly what was wrong. And then I found the lump, and then I knew what my system was trying to signal to me. So again, and talking about heart palpitations and the heart chakra, it has a huge magnetic field. It can pick up the higher frequencies, higher vibrations. It can pick up lower frequencies, lower vibrations. It can cause your heart chakra, your heartbeat, to be either erratic or calm. When it's erratic, it signals stress to the body. It sends that signal to the adrenal glands, and then it floods your cortisol through your body. So, and the high frequencies that are coming in, your body, your system, through your nervous system can say, hey, something's not right. There's this, what is this high vibration that's coming in? And it can get sort of panicky, not really understanding. And so again, that's why I really encourage you to talk to your body and say, okay, there's a lot of solar flares that have happened recently. There are some changes in frequency, like the blue light movement, when there's big surges like that. It's a really wonderful thing to be able to talk to your body so that your body knows that everything's okay, but there's a transformational, evolutionary awakening that's happening. Your heart has what's called a pacemaker. So even if your heart was outside the body, it's still going to beat at a certain pace. Mother Earth, the Earth also has a heart frequency, kind of a heartbeat, and can send out a regular signal to the world and to humanity. Ideally, it's nice if we can kind of align ourselves with the heartbeat of Mother Earth to help our own heart to remain steady. So I will include that in our little quick meditation today. So hello, Samantha from Thailand. Hi, Heather from Kelowna, Canada. So wonderful to see you all. Okay. Hi, Lucia. What a nice rounding good morning from you. All right. So your heart has a regular kind of pacemaker node that automatically sets at a certain beat, and it's regulated a certain beat. So it doesn't go too high, it doesn't go too low. That particular pacemaker of the heart helps regulate it for you. Now, in my other life before I retired, I was an open heart recovery nurse. That meant that I helped care for your loved ones after they had had major heart surgery, but also I cared for your loved ones if they had stents or they had heart attacks. So anything having to do with the heart, that's the type of nurse that I was. And in this one story, I was caring for a man who had had heart surgery, and he was quite a quiet man and a private man. So I got him up out of bed, got him to the chair. He's sitting there feeling quite vulnerable. And he says to me, shaking his head, I still can't understand how I had a heart attack, how I got into this. And so I had already been doing this work for a while. So I still continued to work as a nurse, I think, until about 2002. And I said to him, well, you know, some people believe that our ability to express love or not express love can impact our heart. And so when you have an opportunity to express love, do you hold back? Do you hold in? Or do you allow yourself to express it? And I said, so sometimes there's some people that believe it can get backed up in the heart, and then it can cause you to have heart arrhythmias and heart problems. So he was sitting there for a while because, again, he was quite private and very withdrawn and shy by nature. So I'm making his bed as he's sitting up in the chair, and he said, you know, I have a granddaughter that comes to visit me every day. We watch our granddaughter for our daughter while she goes to work every day. Every day, my daughter drops her off and brings her in and sets her on the floor. She's like 2 years old and she plays with toys. And he said, I'll be having my coffee and I'll be reading the newspaper. And he said, sometimes I'll lower the newspaper and my eyes just peek over the top of the newspaper. And I look down at my granddaughter playing on the floor and I think, oh, I so love her so much. And he said, and I'll feel overwhelmed with love. And then he said, I'll just raise the newspaper again and go back to my reading. And he goes, is that what you're talking about? And I thought, oh my gosh, that is the sweetest ever. And so I said, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So next time when you're feeling that overwhelming love, go ahead and let yourself express that to the people that you care about. So we can kind of hold back. We can close our heart to the world, and those can cause our heartbeat to have heart palpitations because those circuits are kind of bypassing a normal flow, and you can have blocks in that more sensitive system in your aura. So there was a study that was done that I want to share with you, and I apologize, I couldn't find the link to the study, but I'm going to still look for it. It was a study that was done out of California. And what they did was they set up a television, a screen in front of a participant. The participant then would look at a blank screen, and they had them all hooked up to their heart to see how the heart would respond to the images they were going to flash. So let's say then they flashed an image of a daisy, and then they'd flash an image of children playing on the playground. So they would flash these beautiful images, and they would really kind of notice what was happening to the heart. But they also had some triggering images, like images of war, images of someone getting beat up, images of someone being in a car crash. So, but what they found was that the person sitting in front of the images, they would just see an image of children playing on the playground, and there would be this expansiveness. The next image may be of a car crash, but they hadn't even seen it yet. And the heart would become discordant. It would become aggravated. It would become really rocky in its heart palpitations. And then the image would come up, and then they would see it was a car crash. This really struck the people doing the study as pretty incredible, that the heart had the intelligence to know when an image, a disturbing image, was going to be coming up, or a loving image was going to be coming up, long before the participant actually saw the image. But the part about the study, so if you try to look it up and find it, it was, they also studied Tibetan monks, Tibetan Buddhists. And these Tibetan Buddhists, when they were sitting in front, all hooked up their heart chakra, they would remain steady, whether it was a loving image or a disturbing image, a loving image or disturbing image. So what they found was these regular monks that were regular meditators that could really hold still and keep that rhythm of the heart flowing naturally, because they had meditated so much that they could regulate their system. So a lot when I teach, I'm teaching my students how to learn how to manage their energy field, so they're not having the highs and the lows of emotional triggers and expressions, or the heart, or worry, or anything like that. So they talked to the Dalai Lama, and the Dalai Lama responded saying, "Oh, that's wonderful that that these monks know their lessons very well. They practice very well." He said, "But the true test would come if you would test them hooked up to their heart chakra, and share with them events that would trigger their own emotional response." So it might be someone who was harmed in their own family, some some disturbing images of things about their life. And that's very true. It's like, for all of us, we can be monk-like in our spiritual expression when it's happening outside of us. It's happening to anyone else because it's not impacting our life. However, if it's impacting our life, that can be a whole different story. And so I really loved that study. So look it up and read about it. It's an incredible story. Why do I share that with you? Because your own heart chakra can respond to things going on around you hours, days, weeks, months before they happen. Hours, days, weeks, months before it happens. So you can get triggered. But a lot of times we will project that onto something that's happening in our household, that we're worried about something or we're stressed about something, but in actuality, we're getting triggered in bigger ways from what's going on in the world. So it's called the subcortical alarm system. So it's not from the brain, it's from the heart that's triggering that something's wrong. So in February, it was right at about the end of January, starting in the beginning of February. Many of you may have heard me respond to having these kind of panic anxiety attacks, but I was having these high racing hearts, and then it would drop to a really low rate. So it might go up to 140, and then it might come down to 50 beats a minute, all within a 10-minute period of time. So of course, I went to the doctor, and of course they were concerned, and they did all of these tests, and all the tests turned out just fine. And I was having anxiety attacks as well, feeling like something's wrong. And I thought, is something bad going to happen to my family? And I know each of you have felt that before, wondering and trying to anticipate what's wrong. Good morning, Verna. You're welcome. Good morning, Phyllis. So what happens here, what happened in my situation was when Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24th, that's when I realized, oh, there's a disturbance happening in the world. Russia was planning its attack on the Ukraine. The energy disturbance started elevating in the world, and then it was really impacting the disturbance that we were feeling in the energetics that was impacting our heart chakras. Why do I know this? Because when I went to the doctor said, wow, most of my patients are having heart issues, heart palpitations. They had me go to sign up for one of those monitors that you attach to you for a month. When I went, there was a 2-month waiting list because so many people were having heart palpitations at that time. They didn't have enough monitors, so I actually had to wait for one. When the turnaround was quite rapid, they'd clean them up and then they'd send them out, and the batteries weren't working well. It was crazy. And even when I went to the hospital for the nuclear scans of my heart and everything, they again, the staff said, wow, we've been really busy with a lot of studies of the heart. And now they've tended to kind of calm down a bit more. So let me kind of describe kind of what happens during that time that can cause the heart to race, cause the heart to go down. And these are ascension symptoms. Now, I was feeling it in the Russia-Ukraine situation, but how many other situations are happening in the world that may impact your sensitive heart? Your heart's trying to signal knowledge and information to you. So your body and brain, they don't like change on a good day, but sudden change that you weren't even expecting is even worse. So of course, if you're going through a change in relationship, you're moving, you're going through a job change, even if it's a good change, like your kids graduating from high school and going off to college, those things can impact your energy field as a change that you have to adapt to. So this can really spark your heart to be discordant again, and it can take a while to integrate and smooth out. What was I going to say about that? Oh, but unexpected change like the coronavirus or a car accident, like things that you didn't anticipate, or me being diagnosed with breast cancer. I mean, that totally came out of the blue. That was very unexpected. It felt like of course, my life was turned upside down. What am I going to do? So you really want to keep practicing with meditation to keep the heart calm, because the heart is so sensitive that it can impact your entire aura. So let me just talk about the autonomic nervous system. So I'm going to talk about 3 systems that get activated when you have a sensitivity that's being picked up at the heart. Now, the heart sends out more information than your brain does. Your heart picks up that it sends more knowledge, more wisdom, or more, panic to say run, and it sends that information to the brain. But for many of us, our heart and our brain are disconnected. So we're going to do a little meditation that will maybe help you bring those into balance. But think about the autonomic nervous system is the one that regulates all the organs in your body and keeps them functioning right on track. It's kind of like the train that's scheduled to come by every 2 hours. You know it's going to come by every 2 hours, rain or shine. That's your autonomic nervous system. But I remember it by saying, oh, autopilot. That system is on autopilot, or it's automatically beating, or your stomach's automatically digesting. So it regulates that in an automatic way. However, when it gets triggered, like mine did, where Russia's going to invade Ukraine, and again, I didn't know that this was happening because it didn't happen for a few weeks, my sympathetic nervous system kicks in. Now, I remember sympathetic because it's like, oh, like your sympathetic system. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're struggling, that you're worrying. I have sympathy for you. Here, let me fix it. And it starts racing the heart. The heart rate races in response to the sympathetic nervous system that's telling you stress is on the way, something bad is happening. Your root chakra gets triggered. So remember, your root chakra is between the hips. It opens up wide. So you have all this energy flooding into the root chakra so that you can run really fast or pull the car off the person where it collapsed, that you can have the strength to respond. But now here I was sitting in my chair, minding my own business. And then suddenly I have this full on response, panic response to an unknown reason. So I'm sure that many of you have had experiences like that. So your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up, your cortisol levels go up. It dumps sugar to prep, to give you energy to run. It ends up getting your pancreas and your insulin levels drive up. I mean, it's just crazy making. Then you have your parasympathetic. So you have high heart rate, low heart rate. The parasympathetic, think of it as parachute. Okay, parasympathetic, parachute. What happens when you jump out of a plane? Your parachute opens up and it calms everything down. You're no longer in free fall. It's going to gently, gently let you lower down to the ground. And so what's happening in the parasympathetic system, it's like, oh my gosh, the heart rate's racing. Let's turn through the vagus nerve. Let's turn that racing heart down. So that's what was happening to me. I had my autonomic system, but the sympathetic and parasympathetic were battling back and forth in this fight or flight, race up, calm down. So what was happening when my parasympathetic system flooded, getting everything to drop instantly, that's when I felt like I was dizzy and I might pass out. So why do I talk about this as an ascension symptom? Because the frequency on the earth is rising. We are going from that third dimension through the fourth of the heart to the fifth dimension. We are expanding our light. Photonic light is flooding the earth. The blue light is surging into the earth. And as that happens, your nervous system says, hey, wait a minute, what's happening here? We're having these highs and lows. So then when you feel like you might get dizzy or pass out, then suddenly what happens? The sympathy system goes, oh no, you're not feeling good. Let me flood your system with cortisol again to help get your heart rate up, to help you feel better. So for me, yeah, it was up and down for quite a few weeks. And I knew I wasn't having a heart attack or dying because I was a nurse, but that worked with the hearts. But if you're not aware of that, it can be pretty frightening. So, all right. So again, I just explained how this is an ascension symptom because your nervous system can pick up the high frequencies, but it can also pick up the low, greedy, power hungry, manipulation, crazy political systems that are happening or violence that is happening. It can pick up on all that as well and cause stress to the body. So number one, as Eddie's saying, when will this end? And as the frequencies are going up, we're going to have these highs and lows. But number one, meditation really is the key to help you stay with that calm system. Tell your body, hey, I'm doing all right. Let's go ahead and ground. Let's run our energy. But we definitely want to get into the meditation so that you can experience how to calm your own heart chakra down. Okay. All right, go ahead and close your eyes and turn within. And say hello to your body. And someone just asked, can this cause your body to be achy? Absolutely. Cortisol surges, your whole body responds to that cortisol and that stress, and it can sit in the muscles. So just talk to your body, say sweet things to your body. Say hello to your spirit. Say sweet things to your spirit, your higher self, your wise self. And ask your spirit and your body to help you harmonize your energy system. Now, just imagine that you are well grounded and you're going to ground your energy field all the way down to the center of the earth at the magnetic core where it is Mother Earth's heartbeat. There's a rhythm, there's a consistent, automatic heartbeat rhythm of Mother Earth because Mother Earth is, after all, a living, breathing, awakened being of consciousness. So allow your system to connect with the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And let's just have a few seconds of quiet to sense if your own heart can align with the heartbeat of Earth. The heartbeat of Mother Earth is very calming and very steady and reliable and dependable. That no matter what's happening, Mother Earth's heartbeat is consistent. Oh, I can sense from the heart chakra, your heart chakras are calming and it's starting to release some stress and anxiety. Now, your heart chakra sends information to your brain. So your brain, your sixth chakra, your mental aspects, your overthinking, over analyzing aspects might think we're doomed, something bad's going to happen, I'm panicked, I'm worried. And so right now, allow your heart to flow up towards your sixth chakra, the love of your heart, the calmed heartbeat of your own heart chakra in your chest that is aligned with the heartbeat of Mother Earth. Now allow that light to move up and to calm your mind. Telling your mind it's going to be okay. Let your heart communicate that love, that calm, the kindness, the caring, the gratitude for those amazing minds of yours, but help your mind calm down. Now imagine that your mind is hanging on to some old things, or worried or anxious or nervous. Invite your mind to tell your heart all about it. It's like, come on in, talk to let my wise self hear your problems. So let your mind talk to your wise heart right now and share with your heart what's going on in your mind. Let your heart chakra transform into a steady, calm, peaceful state any of those worries or concerns that your mind has. Let your heart chakra transform it into peace. And then also send back those peaceful frequencies back to your mind to comfort your mind. Now let's move a little quicker to harmonize the relationship between your sixth chakra and your fourth chakra, or from your heart and your mind. And now let's be a little quicker. Send from the heart to the fourth to the sixth to the fourth to the sixth to the fourth to the sixth to the fourth. So just imagine back and forth until you feel a harmonic flow between the two. All right, that's a good start to sense that harmony and flow between your mind and your heart, and your heart and your mind. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead, open your eyes, thank your body, thank your spirit, and then share when you can, even when I finish this recording, what your experience was like between your head and your heart. So you want to practice this when there is no stressful event. I hear myself, when there's no stress happening. And it's like, I don't know when the last time that I felt no stress in the world. But what I mean is when you're not at a peak triggering moment, you want to just practice calming your heart, really getting it calm and allowing it to calm your mind, and allow your mind and your heart to talk. Let your heart be that loving support system for your mind when your mind is just overthinking and too stressed. And then when a real emergency, a real reason for your sympathetic system to kick in, your cortisol to kick in happens, that you can remain centered and quite grounded and connected to the heart chakra of Mother Earth. All right. So another way that you can do this is through your hands. If you're feelers, you can imagine my left hand, I would imagine, is my heart. My right hand, I imagine, is my head. And then I just let myself feel the energies in between until they are in harmony and their frequency is balanced. So, all right, there you go, everyone. Heart palpitations as an ascension symptom. It is a symptom of what's going on in the world. And remember, if you start feeling that racing heart, that's your sympathetic system. Oh, I'm having sympathy for you. I'm going to help you by increasing your heart rate. The parasympathetic is like the parachute. It's going to calm things down. So then when you have those heart palpitations, you'll know what's happening. However, I am a retired heart recovery nurse. Go get it checked out, just like I did, where I said, this is highly unusual for me. Go get it checked out with your doctor if it's happening a lot. It was actually my doctor that was able to diagnose it as a vagus nerve issue. So after all the tests came in negative. So always go to the doctor to get it checked out. And if your heart's totally fine, then you know that your heart is extra sensitive, can feel things that are happening in the world. All right, everyone. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. And I would love to come back and read what your experience was when your heart talked to your head and your head, your heart. All right, everyone. Take care. Have a great weekend.